Got it. Alright, pull up the bumpers. Call it a day. Let's go, bro.
There you go.
What? Bumpers, bumpers, bumpers. Kills me. Absolutely brutal. I'll tell you that much right now.
You're brutal.
Agreed. Alright, what am I looking for? Bumpers.
I think you're looking for a nice warm glass to shut the hell up.
Moving on.
Something strange is afoot at the Circle K.
What?
It's from Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah. Alright. Are we ready?
Ready?
Anybody about? Hello, hello. We are back. Back and ready to rock. I'm going to open up my brewski. Oh, that's nice, Skeen. Thanks, buddy. I'm digging it, bro. Digging it. All right. Shall we? Hello? Oh, you know it. SKB IPA. He's drinking the pale that you sent.
I'm drinking the Osiris.
It all came intact, as always. Thank you for that, sir. Unlike some other stuff I ordered this week, but whatever. Yeah, time enough. I don't need my beer hella cold. But, I mean, it was in the fridge for a couple hours before I even put it back in before during trailer time just to get another half hour on it.
Because you're a little bitch.
So, Skeen, what do you think about coming on full time in place of Will? Because he's an asshole. How about that? No, but we do got to get you and Eddie on here. We're working on logistics on that for sure. Let me know if you don't come over here. Oh God, it's happening. That's too much. It's too much. You're touching me. So anyway, how about let's figure that out in the next few weeks, okay, dude? For sure. I know we say that a lot, but for reals. Maybe the week before I go, before spring break.
Okay.
That'll be good. All right. Well,
Excuse me. Wow.
yeah, let's both burp on the mic. That'll keep people.
I burped to the side. That's just, wow. Wow. Titty sprinkles. So
I quit. I'm going to leave.
Meat whistle.
Got him. All right, I'm starting the show. Is this on?
It's on.
Blast came from the Death Star. That thing's operational.
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
I'm supposed to talk to in the intro. Anyway, hello and welcome to episode 128 of the Usual Podcast. Podcast where we discuss Star Wars: The Old Republic, the Star Wars franchise, and geek and pop culture. I'm your host, Marshall. And with me trying to dance, even though I screw up the intro, is my co-host, Will. What up, bro?
Excuse me, call me the Dance King.
I will never call you that. And we're just sitting here enjoying our usual frosty beverages. What you drinking?
Well, thanks for our drinking buddy, John Skeen.
Drinking, buddy?
I am enjoying a Sun King Brewery Osiris Pale Ale.
Yeah. What do you think?
I'm not actually a huge fan of pale ales, but this
Yeah.
one's pretty decent.
Yeah.
Just the one is going to be enough for me. Because I'm a lightweight.
Ooh, that was a good one. I am also drinking from Sun King Brewing Company. Thanks to Mr. Skeen, my hero, my scholar friend, my kindred spirit, if you will. He sent me SKB IPA from that same brewing company. It's delicious, and I love everything about it. This one will not be enough for me. That shows.
Well,
where we're at.
we're on different levels.
Are we though?
Oh yeah, we are.
I feel. Anybody else feel judgment in that comment? But
judgy.
I'm going to gloss right over it. So before we get started, if you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. Find us on Twitter. Will is at IMO Griggs, and I am at Darth Pops. iTunes, Stitch Radio, Google Play, all the favorite places you like to get podcasts. We're there. Theoretically. I don't know. We're not everywhere, but it's fine. And don't forget, we have our usual podcast gear, teespring.com/store/usual-podcast. We got t-shirts and stickers and iPhone cases, all kinds of
Talk about
stuff.
stickers, actually. If you were part of the first batch of Patreon subscribers, after this first month, I'm going to be shipping off some stickers to you fine folks this weekend.
That's going to be exciting.
Exciting! You can show your usual podcast flair on your car, or on your binder, on your.
How many pieces of flair should they have? And I don't think that any of them have binders.
Well, on your Trapper Keeper.
Trapper Keeper. What was it, 1994?
Peachy.
No, Peachy folders? Yeah, those are good.
Peachy folders.
All right, so where are we at? What are we talking about? Are we done with that?
If you want to do the bare minimum of flair. John over there's got 11 pieces of flair and a wonderful smile.
Again, I'm in the market for a new podcast partner. I'm not sure what's happening. We watched some trailers and
Dude,
now
I'm going off the rails already.
I feel like it's all deteriorating, but it's fine. All right, so we do have the timestamps in the show notes. If you're not a SWTOR fan, we don't have a whole lot of SWTOR this week. We actually don't have a massive show this week. I think some of the stuff will get us off on tangents as always, but hopefully we'll
because we have. What?
Oh, continue. You interrupted me. That's fine.
Don't give me that look.
That's fine.
You know the look.
18 years of friendship. Yeah, I know the freaking look. Can you just say what you're saying?
I'm saying that we have more leeway to go on tangents because a lot of the superfluous stuff we would normally discuss is in our weekly newsletter.
Nice choice of words. I like vocab. So, but thank you everybody who is in the chat room and was there during trailer time. We watched some good trailers, man.
We did.
You
even liked the horror movie.
I like the horror movie one. Was it
Unsane?
Unsane. That looked cool.
It's Steven Soderbergh, not your typical horror movie.
Yeah, no, it was kind of cool. We watched some Disney stuff.
Mary Poppins Returns looks good,
and Christopher Robin, which looked pretty cool too. So just as a quick plug too, if you want to join us or get trailer time, if you can't join us live, patreon.com/theusualpodcast.
$5 or more a month.
$5 or more a month, and you can get booper reels and trailer time and all kinds of cool stuff. So
yeah, you also get the starting next week. You'll get the video reel reviews that I do of the movies I go see.
Yeah, that'd be cool. All right, man. So let's. Before we get into, no, we're good. I saw that link and I was like, oh shoot. Okay, so we're gonna get into the main show. SWTOR time.
You want to fight? I'm ready.
You do not have to stand against me. Instead, I will share all of this with you if you will only kneel.
Man, I really do like that beer.
Okay. I'm just gonna say that I love Darren DePaul, but his interpretation of the Emperor, I just saw Red Sparrow last night.
Yeah.
And it has Jeremy Irons in it.
Okay.
And it totally reminds me of Jeremy Irons' Scar.
Dude, Jeremy Irons? D&D movie?
Oh, so bad.
It's the best thing in the world.
But it's brilliantly bad.
I know. Skiing, yes, good. Looking forward to the reviews. Let's make it happen. We got a new camera in the mail. Hopefully we make that happen. That'd be good.
It's going to be fun.
Sounds good, dude. So, community shout-outs. I did want to throw a quick shout-out, although I'm behind the council. They did a nice breakdown of the roadmap. And talked about roadmaps in general. So check them out. But Weekend Game, dude. What'd you got?
I basically did the patch. I was going to actually log in last night because I wanted to see the new Chiss stuff that we got. The mount and the
rewards.
Yep. Yeah. But honestly, I pretty much fell asleep in my chair. So it's track season started, and I've been doing a lot of stuff at work trying to save my job. So it's been kind of busy. But I'm definitely gonna try to get on and play a couple hours this weekend.
Yeah, it's been busy, man, and I'm with you. I'm coaching golf. We had our first match yesterday. It's been crazy, dude. But I'm still getting in there. I got WOG, of course, which you don't come to, but it's fine. I said to throw that out there. So WOG, we did Ravagers actually last week, which was really nice. And I was, oh my god, dude, boy was I tired. I think I fell asleep in the last 2 fights like twice a piece. But, like, not to the point to where I was asleep, but it was more just like...
Did anybody notice?
No, I was tanking.
So all you had to do was stand there and get beat on anyway.
No, but I had to do stuff. I almost blew it a couple times, but I woke up in time, so it was fine.
Well, at least you didn't wake up dead at the bottom of an elevator shaft.
Yeah, but it was fully cleared. We did a great job, and hats off to my my people and my people that joined us for What's an Ops group. It was
What
a
do you
blast.
mean, my people?
Black people, obviously.
Oh, all right.
Come on. All right, so Dev Tracker, man. Conquest changes. There was a little follow-up after last week. We were talking about
because
this.
we were talking about how the Conquest is changing and how I'm excited about that, and I don't have to, craft all the time.
Indeed. So there was a little follow-up to the Stronghold part of it, where they were talking about what you needed percentage-wise. So here's how it's going to work. This is from Eric Musco. He says, duplicates do count, because if you transferred from another server and you had multiple, let's say, Coruscant strongholds or whatever that looked like. So it says, if you have 3 Coruscant strongholds, all 3 count towards the cap. So a reminder, this is only possible following the United Forces, obviously.
Right.
So it says, the way the bonus is calculated is each stronghold is worth up to 25% based on the amount of rooms that are unlocked. So using Umbara as an example, since there's 3 rooms, he says if you have the base unlocked plus the 2 unlocked rooms, each one of those is worth 8%.
Okay,
and that'll get you roughly to 25, right?
Whereas if you're like in Yavin 4, which has a million rooms.
Right. So it says simply divide the number of rooms by 25% to get an idea of what each room value is.
Okay, gotcha.
So that's kind of I'm glad they're kind of doing it that way. It doesn't matter that you have duplicates, but it doesn't matter how much you have unlocked with each one.
Right. It also not anymore doesn't matter that it's all filled.
Right.
So no more chairs on walls.
It's just what you own.
Right.
Exactly. So we did have maintenance 2 days ago. Right. And the patch notes were very sparse. It was basically they corrected an issue that was preventing the distribution of the Chiss Talent Interceptor and Force Veterans armor set, which does that have to do with the rewards?
I think that is a reward.
Yeah. And then backfilling into a ranked war zone will no longer provide bonus rating. So there's that. There was some backfilling issues for a little bit here, and I think they finally resolved it. The one I want to talk about more than anything is the vendor.
Ooh.
So the Conquest vendor.
Right.
Once you meet your Conquest reward, whatever. So the question is, but something you have not talked about is that the Conquest vendor, the one with the items that levels the companions instantly to 50, what currency it will use, what currency will be legacy wide, will that currency be legacy wide, and will that vendor require what that vendor will require in order to purchase from it, etc.
Right.
So I actually really like where they're going with this, because for me this is totally doable. So you ready?
Okay.
So Musco says the vendor is on the fleet, but will not actually appear for your character until you've completed your personal conquest.
Okay, gotcha.
Which makes sense. Once you can see the vendor, they will sell both stronghold decorations and the commander's compendium. The compendium sells for 4.25 million credits, which in my opinion isn't crazy. There's a lot of credits to be had, and you can get them pretty easily. And 3 dark projects each.
Okay, I got that.
And a few notes on the compendium. It cannot be used on temporary companions, so Darth Mar. And it cannot be used on companions at rank 50 already. And it must be used outside of a phase area such as a flashpoint. And I think which is interesting about that is they're basically saying you might have one on you, and if you can't be to fight, you can't be like, okay, here's your companion's compendium. Commander's compendium,
exactly,
and level that 1 to 50.
You
have to leave the instance, and I mean that makes sense. Then it is what it is.
Right. Well, basically, it's not saying that you couldn't do it inside theoretically, but it's just that it'd have to reset with
Yeah.
that new.
You'd have to reset the phase anyway. So
Exactly.
yes, thank you, Skeen. I can tank in my sleep. Apparently,
as he's proven.
I have proven it now.
Word. Yeah, no, I'm excited, because 4.25 million isn't outrageous.
Not at all. I mean, it's less than half of what it took to single-handed buy all the credits or buy all the gifts, like the mid-range gifts or whatever, and hand it to my companion.
Yeah,
So-
and plus it's faster. Plus those of us that have been trying to do Conquest, over the last few years anyways, have probably, built up a whole bunch of dark
Right.
projects and stuff.
Indeed. You want the bad news now?
Yes.
It's not really bad news. All right, Keith
Okay.
posted.
Okay.
You with me so far?
Keith posted. Got it.
You're stupid. All right, so it says, I wanted to give you an update on the status of Game Update 5.8
Wow.
and 5.9. Well, you did it earlier. It's my fault.
Yeah, but I'm awesome.
Gross. After reviewing our internal test results along with the feedback we received from players on the public test server, we've decided release 5.8 is not ready
Ooh.
and needs a bit more time to make the necessary adjustments. The new target release date for 5.8 is now a week later, which is Tuesday, March 20th. Okay, this additional time will help ensure we deliver a quality experience with Isaacs and the final boss encounter for Gods of the Machine. Also, while I have your attention, this means we'll also move the release date of 5.9 one additional week as well. They're planning to release 5.9 on April 24th, but the new date will be Tuesday, May 1st.
Okay, I'm okay with both.
It is what it is. I mean, this wouldn't, God, if this was the first time
I know, right?
they kick back a release date, it is what it is. And the fact that we get dates at all is a thing in and of itself.
Right,
You know?
and like we always say,
And Skeeton, you're right. Being upfront as to why is better than waiting until we're right up on it, and changing it. So.
exactly. Well, I mean, it's always better to have it late and right than early and bugged.
Well, it's going to be bugged anyway, but you're right.
Well, you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean. All right, dude. So anything else SWTOR-wise? Since that's it?
No, I'm actually looking forward to that compendium now because, I've just been the old-fashioned way of just, working on my heroic missions and changing in those things and getting in and it's just a
Yeah, and
grind.
I actually pretty much made a point of not to deal with that right now because I'm waiting for the compendium and I just want to deal with it that way. I can definitely afford the credits. I got to figure out what the dark projects look like. I think I have some somewhere, so we'll figure it out.
And actually, with this, I might see how many dark projects I have and
Yeah.
try to play the GTN a little bit.
Well, here we are. Star Wars.
Star Wars.
I was raised to do one thing. But I've got nothing to fight for.
Nothing will stand in our way. I will finish what you started.
I almost want to end with this, but let's start with it. It's a big giant picture on our screen right now.
I know, right? Unlike Kevin Smith, where we left it till the end. Last week.
Yeah.
Let's get out of the way.
Which, by the way, after editing that show, that was fun. That was good.
Yeah. So big news dropped this morning in the Star Wars universe.
Indeed. And really, what it comes down to is Jon Favreau is going to be the executive producer and write the live-action Star Wars series, which.
This is the one that's going straight to the new streaming
And this
service?
is going to be on the new streaming service. What they've said is Lucasfilm is excited to announce that Emmy-nominated producer and actor Jon Favreau has signed on to exclusive executive produce and write a live-action Star Wars series for Disney's new direct-to-consumer platform. And I noticed in some of our circles, people were saying direct-to-consumer, and people forgot about this streaming service that's going to be launching next year. And again, everything that Disney's got on Netflix is coming off.
Right.
Starting
and
at the end
the
of the
only
year.
reason for them saying direct to consumer is they're just cutting out the middleman, which means they're not they're producing it and they're distributing it. It's not like it's not a big shake. It's just, they're not producing it and then distributing it to Netflix or distributing it to theaters, or no, it's direct to consumer.
They're just, here it is, and there it is. So a quote from him, he says, I couldn't be more excited. Oh, no, this is not from him. This is Kathleen Kennedy. I couldn't be more excited about John coming on board to produce and write for the new direct-to-consumer platform. John brings the perfect mix of producing and writing talent, combined with a fluency in the Star Wars universe, and the series will allow John the chance to work with a diverse group of writers and directors and give Lucasfilm the opportunity to build a robust talent base.
Yeah, a couple things about Favreau. I mean, those of us who are in Generation X, like you and I, it's, I mean, he kind of like Kevin Smith. I mean, he wrote a milestone in Swingers.
I
mean, he didn't direct it, but he wrote it, and that was definitely a milestone in
God, I haven't rewatched
the
that in a
90s,
while.
and
I
it's
really
brilliant.
liked it,
It's so fantastic. But he definitely, I mean, he's definitely moving over from Disney over to Star Wars, but it's all under the umbrella now. And I mean, they trust him enough that he did Jungle Book. He's doing Lion King. He's doing, I think he's doing Lion King.
I'm pretty sure he's doing Lion King.
Yeah, and they love him.
Yeah, he's really good. So his quote is, if you told me at 11 years old that I would be getting to tell stories in the Star Wars universe, I wouldn't have believed you. I can't wait to embark upon this exciting adventure.
Plus, if I remember correctly, didn't JJ give him a cameo
he's
in
currently
Force Awakens?
in production on Disney's Lion King. Yep.
Yeah. But didn't he get a cameo in Force Awakens?
Yeah. He was one of the pilots.
No, that's Greg Grunberg.
Oh, no. Yeah. He did.
No, I think he got a voice.
Yeah, he had a voice. Sorry. Yeah. I did have Grunberg in my head for a second. All right. Anything else on this, dude? I mean, what do you think?
I'm thoroughly excited. And actually, I've met him once.
Oh, yeah.
I was at Disneyland with my family, and we were sitting at Riverball Terrace, which is probably our favorite place to watch Fantasmic. And he and his, I think his girlfriend at the time, I think they're married now, were standing right behind us.
Nice.
And it turns out it happened to be a day that a whole bunch of people from ABC were there. Like, we also saw, who did we see? I think we saw Miley Cyrus. But and this is when she was still back Hannah Montana time. So it's kind of cool to just see him there and meet him. And my sister, Steph, went up and got his autograph.
Oh, that's awesome.
And so that was cool.
Nice, dude. So any, I mean, as far as we're talking about this, since it is the big picture in the middle of this whole thing, do you have any other ideas of where they're gonna go with this? I mean, a live action Star Wars series is kind of a big deal, dude. It's something a lot of us have been asking for
decades.
It's something that it makes a lot of sense to have on a streaming service, but at the same time, are they going to go Republic? Are they going to have their own thing?
I don't know. I think he could pull off Old Republic, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I just have to make a callback. If you can remember, the only thing that Disney has released live action to TV so far has been the holiday special.
Oh, God.
So this has got to be better than that. But no, I think I think it would be, like we talked about a few weeks ago, I think, is the concept of them maybe doing anthology seasons. Because that would
kind of like
American Horror Story.
American Horror Story.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't even have to be the same cast or anything, but just the same, just each season be its own. Like, you could do a season that's the Old Republic. You could do a season that's the Sith Empire. It's kind of cool because you don't always have to say. I mean, one season could be all about the light.
Yeah.
And the dark plays a supporting role. And the dark, imagine this. Imagine if you did a light side season, and then you did a dark side season, the exact same events, but from the other point of view.
That'd be interesting. I don't know. I'm more thinking that they're gonna go the route of more like a Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like, if it was more like we know the events that are happening in the wider Star Wars universe, but it's gonna be side characters, or Skeen says Ewoks on Endor. But I mean, you know what I'm saying, like more characters. Some characters we know or may have met, but like a side deal that's going on, almost like I hate to say it, like almost like a live action Star Wars Rebels. You know what I mean? Because Rebels is going on in the the beginning of the rebellion,
right?
But I don't know. I don't really.
Well, and he does have experience in Marvel too, because he plays Happy.
Exactly.
But You know, and actually, I just thought about this. Is imagine, I mean, because he's got a background in comedy too. Because you remember he was on Friends for half a season. Swingers was funny.
Oh, I love Swingers. It's hilarious.
And I just had this idea. Can you imagine if they did just a half-hour comedy about stormtroopers on the Death Star that aren't the fighting stormtroopers?
Right. They're like,
no, like Finn was a janitor.
yeah.
Okay? Like them. And like this goes back to the whole idea of plumbing the Death Star.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, imagine that, but you'll see like everything leading up to Luke blowing up the Death Star.
What was the name of the sitcom they did in the DC universe?
Oh, Powerless.
Powerless. Like that?
Yeah, something like that. But it's like, imagine, the whole thing where, when,
Housekeeping stormtroopers.
yeah, when like Luke and Han got onto the Death Star to save Princess Leia.
Yeah.
But it's all the from the point of view of the guy that hits his head. Like them.
God damn it, man.
Exactly. Or the people that have to clean up the trash compactor after they were in it.
Yeah, no, I think they can go a lot of places with this. I know that they would have already had an idea before they signed him on.
Yeah, no, this is all planned out.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm really intrigued to see how they're going to go with it, and how many episodes are we going to get? How often are we going to get it? How many seasons are we going to get? I think how long is he going to stay on the project? I think that's interesting. Like we have Rebels that just ended recently, so that's what was that, 4 seasons, right?
Yeah, those 4 seasons. I mean, you always have the history of like what they did with The Walking Dead.
Scheme.
A private eye Twi'lek with a spice problem. That's funny. Like when they did The Walking Dead, one of the main people that were behind it in season 1, which is turned into a massive legal drama since, is Frank Darabont.
Yeah.
Who is a major producer and writer and director and everything. So it could be something. I mean, they could bring him in for the first season, and he just sets the groundwork, and then all of a sudden somebody else can take it over.
Black Raven has a question about Obi-Wan Kenobi solo movie with Ewan McGregor. We do know they're going to be making an Obi-Wan movie.
Well,
right?
It hasn't officially been confirmed, but it's
one of the ones that's in the
right. It's
works.
the closest you can get to confirmation without them actually announcing script or release.
And nothing from Ewan McGregor yet. So
he really wants to do it.
No, we all want him to do it as well.
Right, but like I said, there's been no. I mean, they've said it's in pre-production. Well, it's not even in pre-production. It's in development. Is what it is. It's in development because
same with the Jabba.
Right, because they're writing a script. They're looking at things. But they're not anywhere close to going into production.
Exactly. The wife's saying we're being a little loud, so let's
we're talking about Star Wars, of course.
We're excited about Star Wars. Okay, so what's next? What do we got?
Next, big news this week.
Yep.
Who got a star on the Walk of Fame?
Finally, Mark Hamill, which
Mark Hamill.
Flabbergasted he doesn't have one already, but here we are.
Yeah, well, it's about time. And but I mean, honestly, if you want to watch a good documentary called what's it called? The
Empire of Dreams.
No, the one that about Ralph Garman getting Adam West's.
Yeah, I don't know the
star.
Name of it, anyway, but it's about Ralph Garman getting Adam West the star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Exactly. It's a process. I mean, it's not. Thing is, it's not like you don't have. It's not something you're gifted. You actually have to.
It costs money. You have to apply.
Yeah,
it's
like
deal.
Tens of thousands of dollars. You've got to apply. You've got to get approved. You've got to get location done.
I think it's
all
like
that stuff.
Minimum 30,000, but usually I think it's around 50,000.
Yeah, and I'm sure it depends on location too. And there's some places where they're doubling up stars now.
Exactly.
So it's a huge process. So for them to get it done, cool.
Yeah, no, I mean he deserves it, obviously.
Oh, absolutely.
There's some really
Star
cool
Wars, alone, but the whole Joker stuff too.
Yeah, there's some really cool pictures online of him getting this. I put a link in the show notes for some coverage from ABC,
right,
with the crowds and stuff.
Of course, ABC was going to cover it.
And of course, but the sheer amount of people going to see this event. Of course, Lucas was there. Harrison Ford was there. All these people were there.
Yeah, so, and of course, Hamill, lovingly talked about Carrie Fisher.
Of course, yeah.
Who actually, I'm not sure if. I mean, I honestly, I think Harrison Ford already has a star. I think Fisher would have. I know Debbie Reynolds has a star.
Yeah, I don't know. If
I don't know. I'll have
Carrie
to look
Fisher?
it for sure. I'm not sure.
We'll have to find that.
I'll look it up.
All right, so let's move on. The next story I have in here, which I think makes a lot of sense considering his age, but John Williams says he'll be done with Star Wars after Episode 9.
Yeah, which is actually not completely without precedent. I mean, he didn't do. I think it was Rogue One that he didn't do.
Yeah.
He started the Harry Potter ones, and he stopped after the third one. He passed it on to Patrick Doyle, and then it went off to a couple other people. But he's up in his late 80s now. But on the other hand, I think he was nominated twice last year for an Oscar.
Yeah.
I mean, in the same category for 2 different movies.
Crazy, right?
But not only that, he the movie that Kobe Bryant did that he just won an Oscar for short film. Called Dear Basketball. I believe John Williams did the music for that too.
Huh.
So he's got a whole bunch of projects in the hopper.
Right, yeah. But, it makes sense. He did, 9 movies?
Yeah.
For Star Wars. I mean, that's a good deal. I don't know. It'd be weird to have episode 10 or the new.
Well, it's not
one
like they're not going to be using his cues.
No, but still, you know what I'm saying. Can you check to see what that says? While I move on. So as far as the next thing I have in here is Star Wars comics news. Actually, Princess Leia is supposed to be getting her own Star Wars manga.
Awesome.
Which I don't know. I love it. I think that's going to be awesome.
No, I mean any new content is great.
Yeah. I actually am more intrigued to check that out than some of the other stuff. The other comics, sadly. So via Newsrama, Hiroshi is adapting Claudia Gray's YA novel.
Okay, cool.
So it's basically going to be Princess of Alderaan in
manga form.
In manga form, which is cool, and it's going to be it's going to slate to premiere on Line's app on this year's Star Wars Day on May 4th.
Awesome,
That's pretty
awesome.
And the print edition will be later in the year. So
Of
that's
course.
pretty sweet, man.
Yeah.
I like
That's
that.
the cool thing about this is like you can, I mean, when you get a good idea like this, you can rush it into digital.
Yeah.
And put it into print later.
Exactly. So episode 9. This I thought was worth talking about.
Yeah, well, actually, I saw it in.
I saw this today,
burying the
actually.
legal bit. Actually, I saw a little like tweet about it a couple weeks ago,
Okay.
and now it's like kind of getting more momentum, and I'm totally okay with it.
So since we didn't say what we're talking about,
Exactly.
John Boyega wants to see Finn in a relationship with Rey in episode 9, which is interesting because, and I read through this article, he's kind of saying he obviously has no idea what's going to happen with his character in episode 9 yet. But that aside, we also have this relationship with Rose.
Right.
But before that, this attachment to Rey. So, we all, I mean, those of us that have been in relationships, you can be with somebody or care about someone and being, wrapped up with someone else and then coming back. You know what I'm saying? So I just think, I don't know. What do you think about Rey and Finn? Did you ever think that was even...
I thought that's where it was going at the end of episode 7.
Well, I did too, but then in 8, they didn't even...
Well, they just haven't been... I mean, their storylines diverged.
They went different directions.
But if you... Even in episode 8, they were... I mean, she was all worried about him until he got out. And, once he got out, the first thing he asked about was, where's Rey? And
For sure. Yeah. I was leaking fluids and stuff.
Exactly.
So, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. I think it's interesting. I think it's worth thinking about because obviously... Actually, I'll be honest, what I think is funny is that everybody wants Finn to be in a relationship with somebody. We've talked about him with Poe.
Yep.
We've talked about him with Rey.
Yep.
And we've talked, obviously, after episode 8, we've talked about him with Rose.
Right. And, of course, there's a huge contingent that wants Rey with Kylo, and I don't get that.
Well,
They're calling her Reylo.
Reylo. And so, but, who knows? We'll figure this out. But I just thought that was interesting that he actually wants his character to be with,
right.
envisions, and I'm guessing this is on the tail of episode 7, his obsession with being with her and wanting to protect her
Exactly.
was based on something more than just a friendship. So that was cool. I think
Right.
that's interesting. All right, let's move on, dude. We have Dave Filoni. I think we talk about this last week?
Yeah, that he's been. Yeah, we talked about it 2 weeks ago, I think.
Okay, yeah, he's teasing the.
Well,
Well,
he said that there's a new series, but is he teasing any information about it?
let me see if I got any information. He says, "I've always felt the best stories end, and there's other stories to begin." And he said, "There's no better way to take two of my favorite characters and have them ride off in the sunset." Etc. Yeah, I don't know if he's actually telling us anything. The epilogues. I don't want to do this because I haven't finished Rebels, so I'm gonna leave it.
Yeah,
there.
I don't want to.
Sorry. But apparently, I have the link in the show notes. We'll put it in the newsletter too. He's teasing the new series, but and there was a couple other articles I didn't put in because I didn't want the spoilers. But really, what it comes down to is at the end of Rebels, there is a distinct kind of something's going to happen.
Something
next.
is happening.
Yeah.
Okay.
So some characters are going to deal with that. And what I've asked Will to do, thank you for doing this for next week, is at least try to catch up on Rebels and watch at least the first episode.
I do not have a track meet this weekend.
After the hiatus, I watched that with my kids, and I approach these things as I don't want to spoil things, so I don't look into them. I wish I had, because my kids were like, "What?" And it was pretty hard to deal with for my oldest. Yeah, so it was pretty hard to deal with, man.
Oh,
And-
of course, yeah.
And it was tough.
Well, I mean, you got to think about it. Something like say Rowan. I mean, 9 years old.
Yeah.
This series has literally been going on half of her life.
Yeah, and she's like, I just remember her words vividly. She says, "I don't want to watch this anymore," and then she cried. It was one of those moments, and it was heartbreaking. But at the same time, that means that the story is legit, and that
Exactly.
means that we've been invested. And that means that she cares, and they're doing something right. And
Exactly.
so that makes me look forward to the next one for sure.
Perfect.
All right, man. So let's. The story I have in here is how the Rebel season finale leads up to the animated series. I had no intention of talking about it.
Because I just know that's. I mean, because we had been wondering where's Filoni going next, and we didn't know time period or anything. Well, it just looks like his next series is going to be next.
Exactly. Let's lighten it up. Merchandise.
Okay, I saw actually. Did I send this to you, or did you send this to me?
I sent this to our Facebook.
Yeah, in our Facebook group. This is hilarious. You got to show the picture of this.
Yeah, I'll put a picture up. So tell them what it is while I do.
There is a Star Wars Death Star pet bed, which is perfect for cats. And I actually think it's a little too small for my cat because, dude, my cat is flipping big.
Oh, Fry would never fit in this thing.
No, but this is hilarious.
It's pretty funny. Oops. Was that too quick? I got rid of it. Accidentally.
Yeah, it's pretty darn cute.
So if you missed it in the chat, that is adorable, of course. But what I thought was funny is, Death Star?
I know, right?
I thought that was cool.
Well, we all know that cats are the most evil, genius animals there are, and so putting them inside the greatest power and the supreme power in the universe.
Exactly. Next one we have in here, and we're just again talking about merchandise. This is I'm gonna slap this up here real quick.
Yeah, it's a Jabba the Hutt throne set, and it's sixth scale.
Yeah. And it's got a bunch of replaceable parts, apparently.
Of course, because you
Oops,
gotta
I
rebuy
forgot.
stuff.
I forgot you guys were looking at that. It's got him, his eyes changed, mouth, all that kind of stuff. I thought that's pretty darn cool.
I wonder if you could get it with the tongue sticking out, like when he's getting choked out.
That'd be sweet. So I thought that was kind of cool. And then what else do we have?
I'm excited about this because I grew up reading Choose Your Own Adventure books.
Indeed.
And it looks like they're coming out with a Choose Your Own Adventure board game.
Yeah, I don't know how.
I don't know how that's going to work.
I don't know how it's going to work either.
But I'm okay with anything Choose Your Own Adventure.
And the only reason I threw this in here was a nice transition from, Star Wars to pop culture. This is somewhere in the middle,
Right.
Obviously, well, not really in the middle, but something merchandise based.
But no, I would definitely love to check out Tabletop Gaming and see what Will Wheaton has to say about it.
For sure. So yeah, there's not many details in here except the books let's see. Choose your own adventure books helped millions of kids. Blah blah blah. Yeah, I mean, there's no
I loved them.
no real details, and I love those books too. They were great.
Yep, absolutely.
All right, dude. We only have a few stories in the last section, so we'll be out of here soon.
Pretty darn quick. Let's do some usual roundup.
Let's do it.
I can't imagine any kind of future where I'm a hero.
Well, you're not.
In the future, none of you are heroes.
You're legends.
Well, really quick, going back to what Black Raven in the chat said about Rey's parents. I don't know if it's someone we know or if it's even going to matter.
I don't think it matters.
After 8, I don't think it matters, but we'll see what JJ does.
Yeah, it's only going to matter when JJ says it matters.
And we've talked about it. JJ set it up. Ryan slapped it down.
Yep.
We'll see if JJ brings it back up or if it even matters. So
Exactly.
all right, let's move on. What do we got?
David Chase, who created The Sopranos, which is one of the greatest shows of all time that left in one of the most interesting ways. He has written a script called, I want to get this right. 1 second.
No, you don't have a second.
Oh, dude, I hate you.
Oh, yeah, I'm off mic anyway.
It is called My computer's slow. The Many Saints of Newark. And what's really cool is that, the Sopranos takes place in the late 90s, early 2000s. And the Many Saints of Newark takes place in the 60s when all the main characters were first starting out.
I think that's
And there's
cool
a whole
idea.
bunch of riots going on in New Jersey. So it's going to be really cool to see how they do that. Plus, we got to remember, that Uncle Jules, I think, is who it was, played by Dominic Gianci, who's one of the only connections from Sopranos to Godfather, because he was in Godfather 2.
Yeah.
He played like the crazy guy. He was no longer the head of the family. That was Gandolfini's role. But it'd be kind of cool because back then he was probably the head of the family in the 60s.
Oh, wow.
So it'd be cool to see that character younger.
Oh, I like that.
So it'd be really kind of cool to. Plus, I'm a big fan of mob stories. I mean, so it'd be really cool to see it.
Nice. Next thing we got in here is a trip. Jason Momoa's The Crow remake.
Right, which we know has been in the works for a while.
And it's gonna come out on October 11th, 2019.
Okay.
And it's gonna be called The Crow Reborn.
Ooh.
So I think that's pretty darn cool, man.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm excited to see Momoa as Aquaman.
I know, right?
But also, like, I really like The Crow, man. And I've talked about this on the show before. I personally, The Crow was like one of those movies I just thought, man, it's so dark and so cool, and like it was just so amazing. I've seen that movie a bunch of times. I really, really enjoyed it. So I'm glad they're coming back with it, and I hope they do a good job.
Yeah, awesome.
All right, man. So we got some Netflix news.
Is this for Stranger Things?
Stranger Things.
Tell me about it.
Well, here we are. So we have a couple of announcements. They've done some casting. Season 3, Maya Hawke is joining the cast.
Okay.
And apparently she is. Let me find it here.
Change the title section.
What?
Change the title section.
Oh.
This one for?
Yep.
Thanks, Keen.
I'm bad at that.
Yeah, he is.
All right, so Stranger Things. Let's see what we got here. We have, Priya Ferguson, who played Lucas's snappy little sister Erica, will be back in a reoccurring, in quotes, role for season 3. And she was good in season 2. I really actually liked her a lot. So she'll be coming back. The other headline, it says, is Maya Hawke's BBC. She's on BBC's Little Women, which
Okay.
I've never seen, but I mean...
We're still not in the Star Wars section.
Well.
Wow. All right,
Can I finish this?
Yeah, finally, go ahead.
Okay, great. So Maya Hawke from BBC's Little Women, she's joined the show as a new series regular named Robin. Okay, and the storyline season 3 will apparently see Erica raising up an army of young friends to help defend Hawkins from the latest threat that will be coming, And alternatively, Robin will be an alternative girl who is equal parts sharp and playful. She arrives in Hawkins looking for more excitement in her boring life. And, yeah. Oh, there's a fun fact in here. Maya Hawke is actually the daughter of actors Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman.
Cool.
Fun fact, dude.
The more you know.
Moving on. I'm excited for season 3. I actually liked season 2 more than season 1.
Oh, really? Yeah, I still haven't watched it.
So, Skeen, we're going back to you becoming the new co-host, or
Really? How's Supergirl treating you?
one show? How many shows? I was going to try to stare him down. Okay, let's move on. Russo brothers. They're producing a new superhero film for Netflix, and Keanu Reeves is in the talk.
Okay, you had me a Russo brothers. Anything the Russo brothers do, I am on board.
Right? I not only that, I love that Keanu Reeves is thinking about doing this. I want to see Keanu Reeves every week. I want to see him on screen being Keanu Reeves. You know what I mean?
Well, which reminds me of other things you haven't watched yet. You still haven't seen John Wick or John Wick 2.
Okay, those are 2 movies.
And they're fantastic.
Bro, I'm still winning this competition.
Fantastic.
Did you ever finish Luke Cage?
Fantastic.
Jessica Jones?
Fantastic. Oh, yeah. Of course I watched Jessica
I
Jones.
want the rest of the show to just be me saying things that I've watched.
Fantastic.
And you just saying that over and over. All right, let's move on. So Netflix. So we've got Netflix is going to be doing, what is it? Producing a new superhero film for Netflix. So it's going to be, is officially ordered the feature film Past Midnight to production. So it's called Past Midnight.
Okay.
Is
he a gremlin wrangler?
Well, all the details are being kept quiet, but it describes a new type of vigilante superhero story.
Ooh, interesting.
Which is pretty cool. Let's see what else we got here. Anything else? The script.
Thank you, Skeen.
Yeah, that's all I got on that.
Cool. Well, I mean, Russo brothers, Keanu, I'm on board.
I want Keanu to be there. It's not every week because I thought it was a TV show, but I want him to be. I imagine this is going to be kind of like a Bright.
Something like that, or Hancock, or something like that.
Yeah, just like getting a high-end actor on a Netflix movie with a high-end director and seeing what happens, kind of thing. You know.
Cool.
What is Skeen talking smack? Don't make me come after you, Skeen.
No, he said that he can't replace me because I'm a walking encyclopedia of entertainment. And then he points out for the younger audience like Blay that an encyclopedia is what we used before Wikipedia.
Yeah, so my mom had like a whole deal. She bought it from a traveling salesman.
Or exactly.
Door-to-door salesman selling Encyclopedia Britannicas. You buy a thing, and then they mail it to you like 8 weeks later.
Yeah, or as Ted Mosby would say, encyclopedia.
Yeah, anyway. All right, man. Let's move on. Marvel
Black
news.
Panther.
It's not stopping.
It's not. I mean, it is still are fighting for the number 1 position like 5 weeks later.
Yeah, I think they're in their 4th. This will be the 4th weekend.
5th week.
I think it's 4. Or is it 5?
I think it's 5.
I might have saw an old story. Nice. So Black Panther becomes the 9th highest grossing film ever at the domestic box office.
Big.
That's huge, man.
Huge.
That's a big deal, especially for a superhero movie.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm guessing the only Marvel movie ahead of it now is Avengers.
Probably Avengers, yeah. So we've got that, and that's all the Black Panther news I have. I would like to go see it one more time before it leaves the theater. Hopefully it's still around.
Yeah, I think it's still going to be here next week.
Yeah, so that's my goal. Jessica Jones, season 2 is now on Netflix, which I'm really excited about. Like we talked about in trailer time, I would really like to start watching this tonight. The wife only got through part of the season with me, and so I'm just going to, me and Jessica Jones, man. By myself.
Awesome. To kind of give going back a little bit to give some clarification, Black Panther is number 9.
Yep.
It had just passed up Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
The remake, the live action one, which is now number 10. It's already passed.
That did that well.
It's already passed Star Wars and Episode 1. Wow. Next on the list is Rogue One in $16 million, which it can get.
Oh, that'll get that this weekend, yeah.
And then only $2 million of that is Dark Knight.
Wow.
I think that's about where it's going to end, because the next one after that is The Last Jedi, which is still in some theaters, and that's at $619.
Yeah,
that's going to be a big.
I don't
jump.
think it'll catch that, but
No, it'll probably end up 7 all time.
Yeah. Wow. Crazy, man.
Yeah, and so to give you what's ahead of it is Last Jedi, Avengers, Jurassic World, Titanic, Avatar, and Force Awakens.
Yeah, and I agree, Skeen. It is my favorite Marvel movie right now.
It's fantastic.
Probably, yeah, of all time. But I mean, there's a couple others that I really liked, but they're just not. Like, if I were to rewatch that and then watch Black Panther, I'd be like, well, obviously I like this more. You know what I mean? I mean, I liked Winter Soldier. I love the original Avengers. Like, there's some movies, some of the Marvel movies that I just really, really, really loved, but Black Panther is definitely up there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with Captain Marvel. But unfortunately, it's just going to be like a little late to the party after Wonder Woman.
For sure. Well, yeah. All right, so let's get to Infinity War. Boy, have you seen these covers?
I have not, but now that I saw your link, they have 15 new Entertainment Weekly covers.
Yep.
I will be putting them into Pinterest today or tomorrow.
Yeah, they're pretty darn cool. There's a ton of them. Let me see. So we've got it's actually pretty cool. The link out in the show notes. It cycles through them pretty quickly. You get to see everybody. Drax, you got Iron Man. All of that, Doctor Strange.
But the cool thing is if you put all 15, if you do it in 5 rows of 3, they all form a big, huge A.
Oh, it's amazing.
And with Thanos in the center.
That makes me happy. All right, let's see. Yeah, the first Guardians of the Galaxy has been my favorite, to be honest with you, Skeen.
You definitely cried at that.
I cry every time, and I show it, and it's part of my curriculum now, teaching. So, I mean, that's up there. I mean, I'd say that Black Panther, Guardians, and probably Avengers and Winter Soldier are my favorites. So,
good picks.
I feel like you aren't feeling it, but
no, I feel you.
It's fine, bro. Luke Cage. We have a release date, which we talked about in trailer time, and I want to make sure we talk about it here. We have a nice, cool, very short little trailer. But June 22nd, we're going to get Luke Cage Season 2, which I'm stoked about because I love the first season. But again, we get Season 2. We've got Jessica Jones right now and Luke Cage following close behind. Here we go.
Yeah, just a few weeks before Comic-Con too. So
Indeed. So we spent a good chunk of time last week talking about Kevin Smith
we did.
And what happened with him. I know I was a little late getting the show out this week, and I apologize. It actually came out today as of recording this, which is lame, but here we are. But we titled that "Stay With Us, Kev."
Right.
And I spouted off for several minutes about what Kevin Smith means to me. But if you want to catch up on everything, if you're a Kevin Smith fan and you want to get his story and his friends' reactions to his story, definitely check out the Ralph Report. What was it, last Friday and Monday. He has a 2-part interview with Kevin Smith about what he went through. The first part is basically the ordeal itself, and then the second half is where does he go from here.
Yeah, and the cool thing is that usually the Ralph Report, which is Monday through Friday, is a paid service through Patreon, and he usually just does the Monday episode for free on iTunes. But he put both halves of the episode up, so you can listen to them both for free on iTunes.
Yeah, it's definitely worth a listen if you're a Kevin Smith fan. You want to see what went on with him. And Smodcast, and on a lighter note, Smodcast has not gone away, but he started that show with with Scott Mosier. And what was awesome is Mosier happened to be, I don't know if he came in because he was sick or if he Smith says he was here on business, but he's been in Paris for a couple, almost 3 years now, or 2 years now. But he had Scott Mosier in the studio with him.
Nice.
And I just listened to part 1 yesterday. Hopefully part 2 drops in a couple days. It's nice those two in the same room. Is I love Tell 'em Steve Dave. That's I think my favorite Smodcast show. But Smodcast itself with Scott Mosier in the same room is leaps beyond that.
Really?
Those two together are amazing to listen to. They play off each other. It's an absolute blast to listen to.
Well, every time the thing, whenever you bring up Mosier, the one thing I remember is his bit part in Clerks.
Yeah.
He's the guy who, when they close the store and they go up to play hockey up on the roof, he's the one that climbs up the ladder and goes, "Come on, I want to buy something." You're not even blocking out the crease. He's like telling him how to play roller hockey.
Yeah, it's great. I love Scott Mosier. Those two, obviously, I mean, never would I compare Kevin Smith and Scott Mosier to us, but they've known each other a long time. You have that banter. There's something about having those two in the same room.
Exactly.
And when you and I record, I think our dynamic obviously
It's much better in the
changed.
same room.
When you and I look at each other in our stupid faces and talk smack, I think that makes a big difference.
Well,
So-
one stupid face.
Well,
Mine.
obviously yours. So I would definitely suggest checking those out. I'm so glad Kevin Smith's doing well, and I'm hoping to see him down at Comic-Con. I was trying to make Napa, but wasn't going to work.
Yeah, they're going to be in Napa, and that's so close to us. And that would be so cool if we can go down to see it, but it doesn't look like we're going to make it.
Yeah, no big deal.
But, in honor, I was thinking about making some life changes regardless.
Yeah.
But listening to the interviews with Kevin Smith and Ralph Garman, it kind of put a boot in my butt. And so, this week I've cut out some soda. I'm drinking far more water. I'm exercising more.
Good.
So we'll see how that goes.
Same here, man. I gotta check up next month. I mean, we're not invincible. Like I was talking to my students about this.
We're not Luke Cage.
Yeah, we're talking about food and where our food comes from and sugar and all that with my students. And the main thing that I think teenagers feel, and even in your 20s, you feel invincible. Nothing can happen. I'm skinny now. It's all fine. But all that stuff will catch up to you, man. And it's important, even if you think you think you're okay, but if you're not getting checked up, you don't know what might be happening underneath. And I have some friends going through some stuff right now too. So that all hit me pretty hard. So I'm definitely going to deal with that. So, anyway, let's lighten it up a little bit. Oh, let's actually not. Blay brings up, Stan Lee's been fighting pneumonia. And he's
Yeah,
still
actually,
dealing with
the link because that happened in the middle of the week. I put a link to that in our newsletter, which went out yesterday.
Indeed. All right, man. We're going to lighten up. We're going to talk about San Diego Comic-Con real quick, and then we're going to get out of here, okay?
Awesome.
So I thought this was really, really an interesting thing. So there was a survey that went out, and this had to do with a museum they're building in Balboa Park.
Okay.
Okay. And there was a survey that went out about it. And one of the questions is, we're considering a membership program for the year-round Comic-Con visitor attraction. How important might the following factors might be in your decision to join? So what they're saying is, if you were to be a paying member of the museum, you would have early access to buying badges for San Diego Comic-Con.
Is that what they're saying, though?
That is what they're saying. 100%. It says, let's see. It says, let me find it. One question including the survey is a lot of attendees rightfully raising their eyebrows. The question is, as I stated, and it's basically early access privileges for Comic-Con badge sales, including one of the answers is included in the answer was early access privileges for Comic-Con badge sales.
Interesting.
So, what does that do? There's a bunch of things that would happen with that. Obviously, there would be a bunch of people that would be joining the museum
just for that,
in order to do that, which is good for the museum,
right? But
I
think it's shady economics.
Well, then that adds yet another badge sale. So now there's three.
Exactly.
There was the pre-registration and then open badge, and then there'd be this other random one
Yeah.
in there, right? And if people aren't going,
And what percentage is going to get released for that?
Yeah, and if people are not going to the museum, right?
Exactly.
They're just paying for the membership. Is the museum really seeing what they're supposed to be? You know what I'm saying? So,
well, they're getting their money. That's all they would care about.
Sure, but I don't know. I think it's pretty interesting. Obviously, this is a little bit farther down the pike, but it was just something that I thought was
it's an
interesting
interesting thing to follow.
But I'm hoping that this doesn't become like a thing where people can use that as like a carrot to get people to buy into whatever they're trying to do in order to get access to Comic-Con. But obviously, they'd have to make that deal with Comic-Con International anyway.
Exactly.
So, anyway, man, I'm looking forward to Comic-Con.
I can't wait.
We're pretty much locked in, man. I just got to figure out how I'm getting down there. Pretty much.
Yep.
I'm gonna start planning Puck 3 pretty soon.
Puck 3.
Which, I mean, sadly, it's coming up quick.
Return.
Not
of
sadly,
the
but sadly because I'm unprepared. But
Return
okay,
of the
now
puck.
you're singing. So is it time to end the show?
I think it's time to end the show.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here. So thanks for tuning in to The Usual Podcast. If you have comments or questions, you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And you can find us on the things. What are the things?
Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, and not that last one.
Twitch and YouTube.
No, mine says Swiffer Network.
Well, you have the old one.
Whatever.
I'm going to actually do this right. So you can find us at theusualpodcast.com. Email us at theusualpodcast@gmail.com. And we're on Facebook, Google+, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. I am at DarthPops on Twitter, and Will is at Admiral Griggs. Find us on all your favorite podcatchers and social medias. Like us, share us, and tell all your friends. You can get your merch, teespring.com/usualpodcast. Sorry, teespring.com/store/usualpodcast. And you can support the show. The best way to do that is patreon.com/usualpodcast. We have a ton of bonuses and prizes and all kinds of benefits to being a member or being a Patreon. And of course, you can do audibletrial.com/usualpodcast as well.
Get a free book.
Get a free book on us. We get 15 bones. That helps us get to Comic-Con in some way, shape, or form, or at least buy us a couple slices of pizza while we're drunk at the end of the night.
Yeah.
All right, my friend. Let's get out of here.
Yeah, everybody, make sure you guys have fun.
Have fun. We'll see you all next week.
Peace.
That actually ended up short.
Yeah. Sorry, I got to
Oh, great. Great news. All right, guys. Dancing.
You call me Dancing King again?
Yep, he did. And he's off.
Why do I think that's going to be on my board when I get into work?
It might be. All right, guys. Thanks for being here, man. Appreciate it, Skeen. Yeah, but we do got to figure out. I'll hit you up in a week or two, and we'll figure it out. I gotta pin down the other drinking buddy, and deal with that. But thanks, Blake, for being there as always, man. I'm glad you're joining us. It's a lot of fun, so we appreciate it. And I messed up my camera. Now you see the top of my shiny head. Oh God. Oh, camera's falling. That's what happens when you get new technology. And thanks for the beer, Skeen. Really appreciate it, dude. I can't wait to enjoy another one of those in a little bit here. So, but we'll catch you all on the flip side. Thank you. Have a good night.